Hello boys and girls of YouTube, but you're thinking, well, I haven't seen that face in a while, and in fact you haven't, because I took a little break from content creation to concentrate more on IRL stuff, but I finally have some more time to be back, and it comes in handy especially when is with the new launch of a brand new game, which is Tower of Fantasy. This is a release that really got me excited, and the pre-registration rewards have just launched. So I thought that was a great time to make a video about it. So the pre-registration for the global launch is finally here. We do not yet have a date of release, sadly, but they did announce it was third quarter of 2022, which is possibly gonna be July, August, and September. We don't know, but we hope for that. All you have to do to pre-register is go to this website here. I'll leave you the link to that in the description down below, so you all guys can go and pre-register to the global release. I've been playing this game on the Chinese server for a month and a half, plus the first closed beta, so that's why I'm making these videos. I want to show you guys why this game is absolutely beautiful. Tower of Fantasy, what is it? It's being compared very much to Genshin Impact, and as much as there are very big similarities with Genshin Impact, and pretty much it does start at the same exact way. That being said, that's not the only similar thing. There's a lot of exploration and a stamina system, and a lot of the systems that you are used to from Genshin. Right after the first couple of cutscenes, you're launched into Astra, which, as you can see, is decently big. There are 5 regions in total, and they are fully packed with puzzles and trials and mini games and a lot of chests to find and a ton of other content. This is one of the reasons why this game is pretty different from Genshin Impact. You will not pull for the characters. You have your own character, which you completely make from top to bottom. There's also presets of characters that you can use for your own character if you so desire to do so, and then you can just change the color, and there's a lot of optimizations that you can do here, so have fun with that. You might have heard that this is, however, a gacha game, so you've probably confused. If you make your own character, what do you pull for? In this game, the gacha is a minimal part of it. However, it's of course the only way to get weapons, and as you can see here, this is the standard banner. And let me go through how the gacha works in this game, which is compared to Genshin a little bit better and a little bit more forgiving. As you can see here, there is 56 out of 80, and 80 being the art PT. However, you could get, as always, a 5-star. There's a small chance, I don't exactly know the ratios, but that's quite irrelevant, considering that even if you do get a 5-star within the 80 guaranteed, then the PT does not reset. So even if you do pull for 7 5-stars in those 80 pulls, then the 8th one is still guaranteed. Now, this is the standard banner, so a 5-star here is called an SSR, while a 4-star is an SR. However, this is still a standard banner and is a second part of the standard banner, and it goes with black nucleus, which are farmable just by simply exploring. Same goes for gold nucleus. However, black nucleus are way more common throughout your exploration, and there is no PT whatsoever here. So all of the black nucleus that you get, you might get lucky and get an SR unit. There is no PT whatsoever. However, the amount of pulls that the game gives you is really high, and I did get even a double 5-star once in a temple in this specific banner. Of course, there's probably a lot of luck involved in my case, which, watch me, once I'm in global I won't have at all. Now, other than the weapons, you also can pull for the mattresses or chips, as you can see here. They are essentially your artifacts, and you might be thinking, oh wow, gachas for artifacts. However, these are still farmable by killing bosses and by doing certain dungeons, of which the game gives you plenty of. Same of course goes for the banner banner rate up or the characters in the banner at the moment. The only difference is that it's a different currency, is a different nucleus, is a red nucleus, or you can also spend the in-game currency. So most of you probably have seen the Meryl gameplay trailer that brought you to search out this game, and you might be wondering, wait, if you're only pulling for the weapons, then how do I get to play my favorite waifu or my favorite husbando? Well, the answer is very simple. They are skins on top of your main character. Like in this case, you can use Meryl and you can finally play with her. You just need to pull for the weapon and you get the character also, which all on its own is already saving money because you just need to get the weapon and you already have the character. And also for every third constellation on any SSR character, you get a second skin for the character, which I mean... Now, pretty similarly to Genshin, every unit has some friendship bonus. However, here are actually valuable bonuses. These are stats increases that you get by giving gifts to your favorite character. And the start increase for the last level, it's pretty good. So starting from the first weapon, the game gives you Manaka here. She's a two-handed spear, pretty fast weapon, decent DPS for her early game, and it's a guaranteed pull, so you will get to use her briefly in the beginning of the game, in the first couple of hours. This is Bai Ling, another unit that the game just gives you for free just by doing the story, at least one copy of it. And again, DPS weapon, pretty fast paced and quite fun to play. If you also have been playing Genshin Impact, you'll notice some similarities in the bow gameplay. Then you have Hilda, the massive shield breaker, and the game doesn't give you this one actually. However, she's pretty slow to play, but the shield break from this unit, it's pretty insane. So early game, it's quite a valuable unit. This is Peppa, or Pepper in the global version, and she is the healer of the SR units. As you can see, it's a staff, so quite useful early game. Then we have Ji, and pardon my Chinese pronunciation, I really wouldn't know how to pronounce this name better, but she is another shield breaker. This time she's not ranged, she's got a massive armor, and she's pretty fun to play. Now that's about it for the SR units. Yes, there are only 5 SR units. All of the rest of the units I'm about to show you are gonna come out in global, and they're all SSR, ergo 5 stars, and there's more 5 stars than 4 stars. Starting with Karasuma Crow, the 2-dagger Electro unit, which gets a very cool looking skin once you reach the 3 stars. So then we have Claudia, one-handed physical DPS with quite a great second form. Now we have Budget King, which this time as a sight. On his third form, he basically becomes Sephiroth. Then we have Shiro, which is pretty much like a dancer in Final Fantasy XIV with a chakram. And her second form is kind of silly, but it works out. She's another DPS. There's a lot of DPS units, by the way. Then we have Tsubasa, range cryo DPS, or frost DPS, or ice DPS. I'm still not sure what the final name of the elements is gonna be. Here Tsubasa or Hain, or probably both. Meryl, which is a massive tank with a 2-handed claymore. And then we have the main boy, Zero, which very surprisingly is actually a shielder healer, other than a DPS. It does do some damage as well, but his class is a healer. Then we got Samir. She's a dual gunner ranged DPS. She's quite a great unit actually. If you get your hands on Samir, she's really high damage. Huma, which again is a shielder or tank, which actually it's pyro and does quite a ton of damage. Cobblebee, which is a fire DPS, and the third form gets pretty good as well. And then we got the best healer in the game, which is Coco Ritter, which is kind of a funny name. She's a really cute girl, and of course she does provide quite a lot of healing. I would say she's the best healer that we can get so far. Of course, there's a ton of other units coming in the game, but that's probably far ahead in the future, so I'm not gonna cover them. However, there's a lot to look forward to. They look pretty good and they play very well as well. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit more in detail on the weapons specifically and what the stats roughly mean. Briefly, what these two stats mean is the shatter value or the break value, whatever they're gonna end up calling it. It was called shatter value in the closed beta, and it means how quickly this weapon destroys enemy shields, and there's a lot of enemies that are gonna have some shields, so this value is really important. Well, this one is charge or recharge, however they are gonna call it, and there is no better way to explain it to Genshin player than energy recharge, except there is no energy in this game. There's no particles to pick up. It's just how fast the weapon charges the ultimate. This symbol right here just means that the weapon is a DPS weapon, and that is the element. We only have 4 elements in the game, which are ice, fire, electro, and physical, and they do not interact with each other. It's nothing like Genshin. This value right here is attack, which is the base attack of the weapon, then HP, and this one here would be critical. Different weapons though have different substats, as you can see here. This one is resistance and HP. For each weapon, the burst is completely different, so you're gonna have to mix and match. As you can see here, the resonance I have is a double DPS, which effectively makes me a DPS class overall, so my bonus damage is increased of 40%, and you can do that with 2 tank weapon or 2 healer weapons, effectively making you the class of the 2 weapons. You could also have 3 different ones, which will in turn make you balanced in everything, which in some cases it could probably be very valuable, depending of course on what you pull. This being a gacha game, you should always adapt to what you get and the resources you get. On that note, most of the pulls that you get from the Black Nucleus are actually upgrading materials for your weapons or for your mattresses if you're pulling in the mattress banner. That actually helps you out quite a lot. There's also chests that you can farm and they respawn daily with this material specifically. They're not that great for a late game, and now while this seems all too good to be true compared to Genshin, there's even more to look forward to for the gacha system and to save your money. So as you do your pulls, you collect this material, which is a currency that you can spend at the shop, and every time you unlock an SSR unit, you can then by default buy a constellation or a star on that weapon just by using the currency. So save this up, because once you do unlock every 5-star, you can essentially get them to C6 guaranteed. There's way more on this shop, like upgrading materials for your equipment, for your gear. You're effectively gonna have a armor and every piece counts, and this is where it gets very similar or more similar to Genshin Impact in that sense. Every piece has 2 stats guaranteed, and then other than that, all of these are gonna be substats. You should probably start caring about this min-maxing of what element and what substat over level 50 and above once you have all your gold gear. Then we have the guild shop here, so you will be part of a guild if you want to be. If you don't want to be and you want to pull a Kirito, I only play by myself, then you can decide to do so, but you're losing out on a lot of materials and upgrading materials or relics and pieces of equipment that you could get by playing in a guild. And then finally, this is the training shop, which is a currency that you get by doing your daily trainings, which are 2 per day, and I really recommend doing them. These are not covered by the rest bonus. What I mean by rest bonus, and this is the best and most different part from Genshin Impact, is a bonus that even if you don't log in for 1 day, you will get certain part of the rewards. So you're not forced into doing dailies. If you can't play because you have a busy life, you have work, you have school, you have whatever, you can't play every day realistically. So this game gives you the chance of even not caring about it for at least a day. So how you make teams really matters, and how you put the weapons together really matters. What I would suggest as a general guideline is to have an high shatter value weapon and an high recharge weapon in your build, and then one in the middle that basically serves for both. Now let's talk a little bit about the content. And let me tell you, in this case, completely unlike Genshin Impact, which is starving us from content, well, contrary to that, this game has a ton of repeatable content. Of course, you're gonna have your dailies, your world exploration, and the ruins, which are basically domains. Now, once you're done with all your daily stuff, there is a form of resin or energy, or however it's going to be called, and it does recover about 8 minutes per single energy. Now, this is your daily dungeon. Let's go through the weekly content that you can run. We covered the ability training, which are daily stuff, so there are only 2 per day. Here we have the Bygone Phantasm, or for Genshin player, this is the Spiral Abyss, except it's infinite. You can go down. For level 65, you unlock the raids, which are 8 main raids. They give you quite good upgrading materials to finish your build. Once you've completed all of this content, you still have a ton of world exploration to do, and your weeklies here are a little bit different than Genshin. They're not actual quests, but by completing all of this content, you will get points. And like this wasn't enough content, there is also the world bosses, which are pretty hard. For those of you interested in it, there's also a PvP, which is a balanced PvP, meaning that the constellations or any unit that you pulled is normalized to the other person, which means that if you have 3 stars, the other person is gonna have a 3-star even though they haven't pulled it, or vice versa, which means that they're trying to make it as fair as possible. Now, after you've done all of the content that the weeklies allow you to do, with those points you transfer them here, and this is the battle pass. And as you can see, there is more than 50 levels. There is about a good 200 levels worth of stuff, and I don't know what the price of this is gonna be in US dollars or in euros, but I am very excited for the battle pass because of all of the upgrading materials and all the pools that they give you. We calculated the other day on stream, and it was about 20 pools without including the mattresses pool, so it's probably about 25 to 30 pools including the mattresses, plus SSR relics pieces, equipment materials, weapon materials, mattresses on themselves, and all of the gold. So I will probably do a battle pass and the equivalent of a Welkin or a small pack of currency monthly, which is probably gonna cost me around $25 to $30, which is basically the amount of money for MMO subscription. Other than that, I do not really recommend to spend too much money on this game or whale. Of course, it's your money. Every one of you decides what to do with their own money. But the reason why I say this is because the controversy that this game company has been having, and all of the copyright claims that they have received. The game gives you a lot of pools, so again, you do you with your money. Now, I think I covered pretty much everything there is to this game, more or less. There is so much more. I hope the video wasn't too long and too unentertaining. I was trying to squeeze in as many information as possible in this video, but there's so much more, and I am excited to experience this in global with all of you, which is another reason why I do believe this game is better than Genshin, because there is more co-op. You do have a very different interactive experience with your friends and whoever is playing this game. Now remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. It was RefoHC, and have a wonderful day.